Hello everybody, it is your lady friend Bonnie and I am back again with another lyrical breakdown for you guys. Come and hang out with me and we can talk music, we can, go through a song, sift through it, see what it's all about. And yeah, I love doing this. By the way, we are still doing the grind to 1,000 subscribers. So if you subscribe and if you like and you comment on this or any other video of ours, you are entered to win a $100 Amazon gift card, I think a request for, any song that you would like, a $50 gift card and request, and I think a $25 and a request as well. So do that, subscribe, share, like, leave comments below and I will respond to them. Yeah, we love hearing from you. So yeah, we are trying to get to 1,000, and then, when we hit 1,000, we'll probably make another contest for the next number, so stick with us and, you could win some stuff and get entertainment at the same time. So what's not to love? So let's get into this week's breakdown. This week we are doing Big L's Ebonics, and it comes highly requested. I think it was requested at least once. I guess at least once, right? If it comes highly requested in the comments. But I wanted to do it, and Holden suggested it as well. So I mean, it's come at me a few times. So now I'm like, okay, I got to do it. So we're gonna get into that. This came out on October 18th, 1998. It was a single. I guess when he released it or when he wrote it, and then it came out on posthumously, August 1st, 2000, on the album The Big Picture. So I guess he released it before he put it on an album, and then it was added to an album, I guess. I don't know. I didn't listen to the whole album, but just the one song. So yeah. So, I mean, yeah, and he died. Well, we can just get into all that kind of stuff at the end of this, kind of go through what was going on at the time and after we've kind of looked through this. Yeah, so let's do it. Let's go listen to it now. I know you like the way I'm freaking it. I talk with slang and I'ma never stop. Okay, so the intro. Yo, pay attention and listen real closely how I break this slang shit down. So he wants you to pay close attention to what he's about to say because he's going to explain all the slang, so you better listen up. Verse 1. Let's get into the core of it. Check it. My weed smoke is my lie. A key of coke is a pie. When I'm lifted, I'm high. With new clothes on, I'm fly. Cars is whips and sneakers is kicks. Money is chips. Movies is flicks. So, okay, apparently weed is lie, but it could, it was also kind of a lie, I guess, at the time. And apparently it was also actually called law because, or I guess LA, I just saw it listed as law, because it comes, Snoop is famous for smoking weed, and he's from LA, and it's La La Land, so. But then, I don't know, it also is said in Nas's first album, so I'm not sure he also says it, I think in Life's a Bitch. Yeah. And, yeah, so I'm not really sure which to call it, but I guess we now know two slang words for weed. So a key is cocaine because it means it's measured in kilos, so it's a kilo of cocaine. Lifted is slang word for high, and it's usually associated with weed. New clothes will make you feel fly because, wearing the same old ones get boring and makes you not feel fly if you're sick of them. A whip is a car, and apparently it's usually a fancy car, like a Mercedes or something, because and it has to do with whipping a horse, a horse carriage from back in the day. Sneakers are kicks, I guess, because they kick balls or whatever. Money is chips, maybe casino chips, but also like a monetary symbol. I'm not sure. But yeah, movies are flicks because and like that comes from like the flickering sound, like that would like come at the beginning of the screens before movies would start, like back in the day, like when like the wheel thing was like I can't think of what it's called, but like the movie thing that projects it when it starts, it would make that kind of flicky noise. If any of you know what I mean, you can write it in the comments and say yeah. So on to the next one. Also, cribs is homes, jacks is payphones, cocaine is nose candy, cigarettes is bones, a radio is a box, a razor blade is a ox, fat diamonds is rocks, and jakes is cops. So cribs are homes, and I feel like that's such like a 90s slang, like from like MTV Cribs. So I don't really know. I guess maybe it came from that, or maybe I don't know where it came from, but I guess it's just like where you sleep, right? Jacks are payphones, and I was just thinking like maybe just because of the phone jacks, you know, like it plugs into the wall. It's called the phone jack. Cocaine is nose candy because it's addictive like candy and goes in your nose. Cigarettes are bones because they're skinny and white. And I guess like a bone. A radio is a box because it's like shaped like a box, and because like boom boxes were like really popular still, like at the time, I guess, when this came out. Or they were like just for show, I guess, more than like practicality. Like I think at this point, like we were all with our Discman and stuff like that. This is like 2000, right? I feel we all had Discman. A razor blade is an ox, which apparently is short for a box cutter, but could also mean like any like sharp knife, I guess. Diamonds are rocks, and like that's, you know, we're still using that today. You know, and diamonds are a type of a rock. So, and jakes are cops, and again, I've talked about this a few times now. Like it's like my word. Jakes are cops because of like a J-shaped key that was needed to like open alarm boxes, I guess, back in the day. But apparently it used to be firemen that used to carry it. So they started being called Jakes, and just because of like the J. And also because I found that in the 70s movie Chinatown with Jack Nicholson, he plays a detective, and that detective is named Jake. So maybe that's also where it comes from. Okay, so on to the next thing. If you got robbed, you got stuck. If you got shot, you got bucked. And if you got double crossed, you got fucked. Your bankroll is your poke. A chokehold is a yoke. A kite is a note. A con is a okey doke. So getting robbed is called getting stuck, I guess, because you're getting like stuck up, you know, and I guess. If you get shot, you can say you got bucked, and like I'm just thinking like that probably comes from like the sound, like a buck, 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 like kind of like the sound of a gunshot, I guess. And then you getting shot. So double crossed is obviously you got fucked. We still use that today. Bankroll is your poke, because I guess like you poke at like your wad of money. A choke or a yoke, because it makes like choke and yoke because of the sound that you make, I guess, like that yoke, like when you get choked. A kite is a note, and I had to check with this one specifically, exactly more in detail. I had to like find, go into it and really search a little bit more with this one, because it's specifically a note. It could also be a parcel that one receives in jail. So it's like a kite is like, I don't know why they call it a kite, but I guess it's like a note that you get in jail. I don't know why. And an okey doke is a gullible person who can be like conned easily. Okay, so, and if you got punched, that mean you got, and if you got punched, that mean you got snuffed. To clean is to buff. A bull scare is a strong bluff. I know you like the way I'm freaking it. I talk with slang, and I'm never going to stop speaking it. Punch to snuff, You get it. Clean is to buff. You're still, you buff things. A bluff is a bull scare in this one, but it's like, it could also be bullshit. And then he just says that he knows that you like the way that he spits, even if it's weird. But this is who he is, and this is what he does, and nothing's going to stop him. So that's it. And then he does the hook. Speak with criminal slang. That's just the way I talk, yo. Vocabulary spills. I'm ill. Speak with criminal slang. That's just the way I talk, yo. Vocabulary spills. I'm ill. And this is off of Nas's song, that's on Illmatic album. It ain't hard to tell. And so he's basically just saying like he's on the same page as Nas, and he speaks the language of streets. And slang is just part of his life and who he is and part of his culture. And they're both from New York, like suburbs. So I'm sure that like a lot of stuff is still being spoken maybe like this. I don't know. I'm sure maybe it's evolved. A lot of it, we're not really using anymore. So, okay. So on to verse 2. A burglary is a joke. A wolf's a crook. Mob Deep already explained the meaning of shook. If you caught a felony, you caught an F. If you got killed, you got left. If you got the dragon, you got bad breath. So a burglary is a juke, and it's like when you juke someone, and that was the only explanation I was able to find anywhere. So I don't really know where that word comes from. I've never heard that before. A wolf is often like a bad character that we see in like in stories. And so like Little Red Riding Hood and the Three Little Pigs. So I guess that's why, if you're a crook, if you're a wolf. Shook means scared or cowardly, which is, different from today's usages, which is like, means like shook, like you're like, you're shook with like disbelief or whatever. I know there's different people are using it. Shane Dawson uses being shook a lot. So hashtag Shane Dawson. So if you caught an F, I suppose it's like catching an L. You catch a felony. Left is getting killed, because you get left behind when everyone runs away, and if there's gunfire, right, like everyone kind of scatters. So it's the person who gets behind is left. I guess if you got the dragon, it's like you're breathing dragon's breath, and so I don't know, I think of like a witch's potion, and you would add like witch's breath into it or whatever, and it would just be stinky, like, so that's just what I think of. If you 730, that mean you crazy. Hit me on the hip means page me. Angel dust is sherm. If you got AIDS, you got the germ. If a chick gave you a disease, then you got burned. So in New York State, there's apparently some exam called the 730 exam, which determines if a person is sane or not. And I guess maybe to like go on trial. So hit me up on the hip, because on his pager, because that's where his pager is. And so it's just like, it's funny, it's so 90s. Angel dust is PCP, and it's called a sherm because people would smoke it on Nat Sherman cigarettes, and I'm guessing those probably aren't like the high-end ones, like if people are smoking PCP on it, or maybe they are. Maybe you have to be baller to do that. If you have AIDS, you have the germ, and that's one that you don't really want to spread. And if some lady gave you an STD, then you were burned, and then probably just because your pee burns. I don't know. Max means to relax. Guns and pistols is gats. Condoms is hats. Krills is crack. The food you eat is your grub. A victim's mark. A victim's a mark. A sweatbox is a small club. A ticker's your heart. So Max is relaxing, and so I just think of like Fresh Prince. I'm not going to sing the song, but you know it. Guns and pistols are guns, which is apparently like old-timey slang for a Gatling gun. And I guess, you know, somebody thought it was cool and brought it back, and now it's stuck. Condoms are hats because they're like little hats for your penis. I guess. Krills is crack cocaine. But I couldn't find like where like that definition came from. Like who was like the, you know, like where'd that word come from? Like what's the origin of that? So if anybody knows it, or, you know, anybody from New York knows like that old school slang and could tell me like the origin of krills, leave it in the comments below. Yeah, food is grub, which apparently means grubbian in Old English, and that means like to dig, and people would dig in their garden for vegetables to eat. So I thought that that was like, oh, you know, we're still kind of using like grub for food, and so now we kind of know a little bit more where it came from. And so, you know, the more you know, right? A victim is a mark, and that's obviously because like you mark your target with like a red dot. I guess like, you know, with your little target gun. I don't know if it's little. A sweatbox is a small club, and I guess it's obviously just because it's going to be like hot and crowded if it's small and everyone's like dancing in there, right? So it's going to be like sweaty. And your ticker is your heart, and it's just because I guess of the sound that it makes, and then it's like a little stopwatch, and it's like a little clock that just keeps going. I guess until it doesn't, right? And your apartment is your pad, your old man is your dad, the studio is the lab, and heated is mad. I know you like the way I'm freaking it. I talk with slang, and I'm never going to stop speaking it. So your apartment is your pad, and I guess that's where like your mattress pad is. I don't know. Old man is your father, and he's obviously old to you, right? So the studio is the lab where you cook up dope tracks. When you get heated, you're mad because like your temperature rises. And the last lines are the same as the first verse. He knows you like his style, and he's going to speak in slang forever. So you better understand what he means when he says it now. You know, like this is it. You're only going to get this one time. So we have the hook again, and then verse 3. So the iron horse is the train, and champagne is bubbly. A deuce is a honey that's ugly. If your girl is fine, she's a dime. A suit is a vine, jewelry a shine. If you in love, that mean you blind. So an iron horse is a train because it replaced horses in like transportation. And so like that was like the next big thing, you know, like after horses. And so like they called it like the iron train. Self-explanatory. Champagne is bubbly because it's bubbly. A deuce is a 2 and a dime is a 10. So they're rating women on their levels of hotness out of 10. And you know, that's why I said a deuce is an ugly girl, but a dime is a hot girl, right? A suit is a vine because it's like been like custom made to like fit your body like the way that a vine would grow around you. Yeah. So it just kind of gives you like that cool image in your head, I guess, of like a vine growing around you, or like a suit made out of vines. I don't know. It sounds cool to me. I'm weird. Jewelry is shine because it shines, obviously, you know, like diamonds. If you love a man, that means you're blind and you can't see what's, you know, wrong with the guy because you're blinded by love. And genuine is real. A face card is $100 bill. A very hard long stare is a grill. If you sneaking to see a girl, that mean you creeping. Smiling is cheesing. Bleeding is leaking. So real and genuine, it's what people want. A face card is $100 bill, and just because the face cards in like a set of cards, like playing cards, is the most valuable. So I guess that's why they gave it the face card name. A hard stare is a grill, and maybe because a guy would like show their grills. I don't know. If you sneak around with a girl that's creeping, obviously, We all know that from TLC. Smile is cheesing, so like a camera, like how you would cheese. Bleeding is leaking, and I don't know. I was just thinking like maybe how ladies leak, or maybe just like you're leaking blood because you were shot. I don't know, but my first instinct was how ladies leak, so that's me. Begging is bumming. If you nutting, you coming. Taking orders is sunning. An ounce of coke is an onion. A hotel's a telly. A hotel's a telly. A cell phone's a celly. Jealous is jelly. Your food box is your belly. Begging is bumming. Same thing, a bum, a beggar, kind of, interchangeable. Nutting is coming, and I guess because it comes from your nuts, right? So doing what someone tells you is sunning because you're obeying, like a father and son, like you're obeying your father. Ounces of cocaine is onion because they both start with O, and it's sort of just like using like words to like deter the cops from like listening in and knowing what they were talking about if they said like onion. And I think it was like a word that they obviously change often, and yeah, I guess that's it. Hotel is telly, so it's just shortened for hotel. Sal is celly. Jealous is jelly. Food box is your stomach. So, okay. To gorilla means to use physical force. You took an L, you took a loss. To show off mean floss. I know that you like the way I'm freaking it. I talk with slang, and I'm a never stop speaking it. So apparently to guerrilla is to use an unconventional method of warfare, such as to talk in a way that couldn't be like easily understood. But in this case, it means like, I guess like getting like physical and like attacking someone. Took an L is took a loss. And I said before, it was like kind of like how you caught a loss. I don't know if you can catch a loss. Now that I'm looking back at it, I guess it really is a took a loss. So maybe you can tell me what you think is the right way to call it. To show off is to floss. I mean, we still use that. You floss. And again, the same last two lines. And then we have the hook again. So, I mean, although now we so that's basically the whole song. And we now kind of know that like a lot of this slang, like it's old to us. It doesn't really need to be explained. Like we're using a lot of this already. But like a refresher and like knowing, kind of going into it and like getting like the core of like where these words come from is always interesting, I think. But it does kind of like date this song as well, because, like anybody before wouldn't know what these words meant. And everybody after is like, oh, those are so old. Like we don't even use them anymore. So it does clearly like date this song a bit. But I mean, obviously like he died and, but like, I mean, anyways, this song it's cool. I liked it. I mean, and it still is like relevant because there are still like rappers who use these words. But maybe they'll make a comeback, if like, one day, and everybody will be using them again. So this song is basically just him like making a song for us, to be able to understand him and other rappers better. And so like here's his chance to do like everyone like a favor and explain it all in the song. And like he can use this, like if anybody doesn't understand him, he can just kind of use this as like a reference point and be like, well, listen to this song, go, understand what I'm saying, and then come back and listen to this again. And you'll understand more what all of his songs are about if he's using this slang in his music. So it just makes sense to know what he's talking about and other rappers are talking about, like from this era, and from New York, right? He's from Harlem. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to go into like a little story about like how it was kind of that he got killed. And so it was in 1999, and Big Al was killed at the age of 24 in like a drive-by shooting, and he was shot 9 times in the face and in the chest. I mean, obviously that's, I guess, like where you would get shot in the leg, I guess, in like a drive-by. Makes sense. Anyways, I'm not trying to like go into that. And apparently at 45 Street West 139th Street in Harlem, where he's from. So, and I say that street corner, I guess, because that'll be relevant in a minute. And apparently it had nothing to do with him, like why he got shot. It was like a beef or like something that his brother did. Yeah. And then the person who was, who shot him was never apprehended, or if he was let go, because, like a few months after this happened, after he was shot, Big Al's like childhood friend Gerard Woodley was arrested, but then they let him go. They didn't have enough proof, I guess. And in 2016, at the age of 46, Gerard Woodley was shot in the head at 139th Street and Lenox Avenue. So I mean, like right near where he, I guess, Big Al was shot. And so like maybe it was kind of like a revenge or like karma, and like how, I guess, they won, karma won this one, slowly but surely, right? It all comes back to you. So I mean, if it really was him that killed him, he got it back, I guess. So I don't know. And again, I also just wanted to comment that Big Al isn't really that big. Either way, he isn't really that tall, and he isn't really that large width-wise, I guess. So yeah, just why you gotta lie like that? Just be regular Al and be proud of that. But I guess he's big in personality, right? So yeah, that's it. I hope you liked it. If there are any songs that you want me to go through, and you want to know more about the meaning, or there's something that you're intrigued with, definitely leave it in the comments below. Like this video. Yeah, I think that's it. Until next time. Bye, guys.